Welcome back, all you Fabricants and Fleshbags, to the super, not funny show review. And today we're going to be reviewing Prey, the brand new sci-fi action movie coming to you from Hulu and 20th Century Studios. So, was it good? Was it bad? And should you be watching? Prey is, you wouldn't know it from the title, but is a new entry into the Predator franchise. That's right. We got a brand new Predator movie after so many years, but why is it called Prey? And what does that have to do with the story therein? Well, this is I guess you could call it a prequel of sorts. It's a prequel set way back in the 1700s, featuring members of the Comanche Nation. In particular, a young lady named Naru, her older brother named Tabe, who is a warrior, Comanche warrior, and her little dog. I don't want to call her little dog, but her dog Sari, and various other members of their tribe, as they deal with the coming of a predator into their environment. Naru, her whole thing is that yes, she's a woman, and she does the hunt. She does the gathering and whatever. But she's also very much wanted to be a hunter. And while she's not exactly encouraged, she's not entirely discouraged either. Her brother, in fact, has been a hunter for some time, following his father's footsteps, and is by all accounts one of the great hunters of the tribe. What they're encountering, though, is something's hunting, something's out there doing things that they can't quite understand. And she believes that this is the hunt, the sacred hunt, the one that turns her into a true warrior, hunting the thing that hunts you. And so there's, this is all against the backdrop of kind of the plains. There are some Europeans, some French trappers that show up later. A lot of it's nature, and there's this predator who's running through all of the predators within his sphere. And so, all that being said, without going into spoilers just yet, so what did I think about it? I fucking love this movie. I'm just gonna say it straight out. This movie is, for one, it's beautiful. It's the directing and the cinematography, absolutely top notch. This is filmed, in the midst of the pandemic, understandably, and that's fine because one of the main characters is just really the surroundings, the setting, nature. We get to see, and very intentionally, we get to see plenty of, wild animals and kind of, if you think Lion King, the circle of life, stuff like that, things eating things, eating things. But we also get to see them as, I guess the predator sort of sees, which is new challenges. And at the same time, and I think this is a really interesting parallel, is that this predator seems to be, as I understand it, possibly a young predator who's going on their first hunt. And at the same time, Naru is a Comanche woman who has, not just been learning the ways, she's not set in her ways of being, it's just a female that gathers, but she's been going out hunting. She has her dog that she's trained. She has her axe that her father, gave her, and that she's been working with. And she's tough, and she knows medicine and all that stuff, and she knows the land, and just like her people do. And I love the fact that there's a lot of respect being paid to the culture and to the ways of the people, their respect for the land, the way they, live within it, but also that to be a hunter, understand what it is to hunt and to respect, the animals and to try to understand them, but also how she has to sort of, push against, people trying to keep her sort of in her box. I also, and I want to give real shout outs to Amber Mid-Thunder, who plays Naru. She is excellent. She's capable. She's fearless, but she's not, she's fearless, but she's also, somewhat trepidatious about, about the transition into being a true warrior, about what she has to do. but she's also quite smart and observant. I also, I got to make sure I get his name right, but her brother, Tabe, who is, first of all, a grade A badass in the movie, but supportive, but also, trying to be realistic and not trying to kill her dreams, but also not trying to see her get killed. And very respectful of her ability. And, as the movie moves forward, respectful of the fact that she does, in fact, have what it takes. Seeing this predator, you sort of get to see him. The predator, you don't see much of him, but what you do see, they don't try to hide the fact that the predator exists. We all know that it exists, so they understand we know what's up, and therefore they do not try to necessarily hide him. So what they do try to show is that the way the predator is moving forward and up the food chain, so to speak, to larger game, more formidable prey. There's some plenty of great action sequences in this. You get to see, if you want to see some good Predator action, kicking ass, taking lives and all that, you got that. There's plenty of that in this movie. It's not just against people, because in our arrogance we think, oh, we are the top prey and therefore predators only want to go for people. But no, there are other animals that one-on-one with the human being one-on-one can't beat. And so, we get great things like bears, that are targets, wolves, that sort of thing. And to see as it works its way up to the food chain until it gets to people. And I also like the fact that there's an understanding, that these, the people understand the Comanche people that in this, they know their land, they know what's going on, they know how to track. They're extremely confident in their abilities, and they're not, when it comes down to a fight, they're not, they're not afraid. They're going to go at it. Just a true warrior spirit. And to be fair, that's also what we see in the Europeans that we eventually see later on, the French trappers that are there, that also understand, probably through some interactions with it, that there is something, a predator out there, and they take their crack at it too. This all comes back to, and is very reflective of, I think, an understanding of not just Predator, by the writer and the director, not just of Predator, the first movie, but an understanding of the general idea of this, which is, a game hunter, a big game hunter, wanting to test its mettle against the best that this planet has to offer. And with an understanding of that they have all the technology, just like we do. We have all this technology that can be completely beaten by a thinking, an also predator, another predator. As we, humans are apex predators, and the thinking apex predator can also use their sharpest weapon, not their guns, not their knives, but their mind, to get the drop on a superior foe. And there's without going into spoilers too much, there's been much talk about this, the usual idiots talking about wokeness and whatever, but not understanding that it's not, Naru being a woman is not a, it does not get in the way of her being the person that can win. There's no reason for that, because of her tactical, a mind, her ability to analyze, and the fact that through some accident, some observation, just being able to see what's going on, manages to learn enough about the predator to be effective. It's the idea of that there's if you're playing a game with the predator in particular, you play a game in which you don't know any of the rules, and breaking a rule gets you killed. And if you see it, the only way to learn the rules is to see other people die. And so she does that. And this is no different than the original movie, in which, Arnold Schwarzenegger, his character, figures out what to do after all the other resources are exhausted, all the other people are dead, all of the guns and everything are done. He has to rely on ingenuity and, primitive, if you will, weapons. And so I like this movie very much for that, and in particular for the fact that the Comanche are individually more effective than the Europeans, the Frenchmen with guns. Even though the Frenchmen they pull a very good trap that would have worked if it wasn't a predator. But the Comanche are quite good at, they know their land and their way about tracking and all that. What they are undone by is just superior weaponry that they don't know can it possibly exist. And we see this very effectively done and near the end of the movie where there's a fight in which both Naru and Tabe and Sari sort of try to get the drop on the predator, and they're unaware of its ability to become invisible. And so within the context of that fight, Tabe he shows he's a great warrior. A great warrior such that others didn't last very long, but he is in fact able to blood and really give the predator pretty much everything he wants. And the only way he really kind of loses is that the predator then has to employ some of its more advanced, its cloaking or whatever, in order to get away and then come back. Which I think is really, kind of shows that the last person that showed her the most about what to do about the predator was her brother, and his acceptance of his defeat, but also that his acceptance of the fact that he believes in her. And at the end, I really love that because, again, mirroring the original movie, the ending isn't ridiculous. It actually makes plenty of sense, in which she is able to, after having learned as much as she possibly can, and having time to put weapons together and put a killing ground together, so to speak, while the predator licks its wound, is able to actually devise a plan, a very good, effective plan that allows her to prevail. And there's nothing ridiculous about it, any more ridiculous than the fact that this is an alien running around with, essentially magical gear. And her ability to take that knowledge that she has and use it in an effective plan to actually take this predator out is just great. And I could keep going on. I'm not going to keep going on. I think everyone should watch this movie. If you even slightly liked the first couple of Predators, if you like the new Predators, the Predators movie with Adrian Brody, hell, if you just like watching a sci-fi thing in which some primitive people still manage to get the drop on superior aliens, you should check this out. I think it's greatly acted, well written, great action sequences, a very worthy addition to this franchise. And I would like to think that this is maybe a stepping stone towards more great additions in which people with a keen understanding of this material and what makes it work can have more opportunities to tell smaller but still compelling stories about the conflict between predators and humans or any other thinking beings. I think that there's plenty there that could be mined. So shouts out and hats off to the filmmakers and the actors in this. They really delivered something great. And the fact that it has a Comanche dub, which I really want to check out. I love it, and I think you guys should check it out. So anyway, what did you guys think about this movie? What do you think about what I had to say? You head down to the comment section, let me know what you're thinking. Now, of course, you can always hit me up. SuperNotFunnyShow@gmail.com or at SuperNotFunnyS1 on Twitter. All right, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, thanks for joining me on this review. Come back. We have more reviews, more podcasts, all that good stuff on the channel. Until then, I've been Mo the Coupe, your resident fabricant and comic extraordinaire on all things pop culture. And I'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.